Want to add more clarity and movement to your mixes? Proof is in the panning. Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, I'm Emily Bowie. I'm a producer and engineer here in Nashville, Tennessee. I've got timestamps available for your convenience, so feel free to skip around if needed. But if you'd like to help the channel out further, please consider giving it a big ol' like and subscribe. It's totally free to do that. Also, leave me a comment, let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear from you. So why do we pan? Well, we've got a whole stereo spectrum that we need to fill up, and panning allows us to place certain instruments in each of those areas. But sometimes when you add several things to the same area, it can kind of build up, and then you've got some masking issues, and that's just sound on top of sound that maybe are in the same frequencies that kind of build up. And if you are just kind of sticking to that whole left, right, or center, then you're missing out on a lot of that space and probably having some masking issues. An example where this can happen is if you've got several guitars. Say you've got 6 guitars and you've got all of them pan hard left and hard right. Well, those areas and those frequencies are going to start building up, and then it's going to be kind of hard for us to tell the difference in those, which produces a lack of clarity and also a lack of movement that we like when we're listening to music. Another example where this happens is in harmonies. And again, if we're just panning hard left and hard right, we've got all this other space that's left open for us that's not being masked. And so let's jump in and let me show you what I'm talking about and how I like to go about panning different things. Now, I don't really follow the whole left, right, center as my only options in panning. I know a lot of people do, and that's perfectly fine. It's just not something that works for me and my ears. So what I like to do is listen to each of those tracks. So for example, I've got a session pulled up here, and we're going to be taking a look at the harmonies. And these harmonies have low harmonies, mid harmonies, and high harmonies. What I like to do is think about how that's going to sound through the mix bus. And these are all just raw tracks, no plugins on anything. It's not even going through my mix bus. This is just me listening to tracks before I even start the actual mixing process and merging that into my template. So I know that in my whole frequency spectrum that I don't want a lot of low frequency information on the sides. I'd rather keep that more focused in the mids and in the middle. So I'm going to apply that to my panning. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So I've got these harmonies here, and just gonna give a play so you can see what's going on here. Listen to how they're all kind of masking each other. Nowhere now, no nowhere to run. Nowhere now, no nowhere to run. Ooh. All right, so what we want to do is we want to add some clarity to that, unmask, and add some movement. So the first thing that I like to do is listen to them and see, what's going on here. So what we've got is a couple of low harmonies, a couple of mid harmonies, and then we've got high harmonies. So knowing how I want everything to sound, and this is obviously not mixed. There are no plugins on here. I'm not even going through my mix bus. These are just all of the raw audio tracks. But I know that higher information sounds better on the sides. I know that lower information sounds better in the mid. So first things first, I'm going to pan the high harmonies all the way out left and right. So for the mids, we'll go about 60 or so, maybe 65. And somewhere close to that. Now for the low ones, we'll stay even more on top of that. Somewhere around there. That looks good. So let's take a listen and see what that does. Nowhere now, no nowhere to run. Nowhere now, no nowhere to run. So that has really spread things out. So we're on the right path here. So the next thing I want to do Let's work on the balance here. Now I know that the high harmonies takes a little bit more energy to push that out. And so they're going to be a little louder, usually. So I'm going to bring those down a little bit. And then I'm going to bring down the mids, but not quite as far. About right there. So we're still kind of stepping here. And then the lows, depending on, you know, where they sit good in the mix, but I'm going to bring those down as well. So we've kind of got like a little stair step going on here. And we'll see what that sounds like. Okay, sounding pretty well balanced. But the next thing that I like to do to add a little bit of more movement to that is kind of stagger the left and right with the volume faders. And what I mean by that is, so with the one pan left, we'll just keep there. And then this one we'll bring down a little bit. And then we'll do the opposite with the next group, the mid harmonies. So I'll keep the left one where it is. I'll raise up the right one. Same thing over here. We'll go down a little bit with this one. So that we're just kind of staggered every other one. And let's see what that sounds like. So not only have we created clarity, we've now created a lot more movement in our harmonies. And that's kind of what I want when I've got a bunch of harmonies. I want that really to move while, you know, we've got our focus on the lead vocal. We've got this nice airiness that's just filling up all that other space that's kind of hugging around or just sitting back, having just something that our lead vocal can sit on, or something that's gonna be kind of hugging around that sound. And that's what I want from harmonies, because, you know, when you've got harmonies coming in that support the lead vocal, it's offering up, you know, an expression and an emotion. And so if you can add that movement in there, it's just gonna help carry the song along a lot better, and it's just gonna sound a lot better for us. A better listening experience is what mixing's all about. But now it's that time of the video where I'd like to invite you to head on over to my website at fairairmusic.com and check out my brand new mixing templates. Using these templates gets you quicker and professional sounding mixes. And don't forget to check out the mixing course, which can help you build your portfolio with the included multi-tracks, as well as an in-depth look of how I like to mix certain styles of music. It's also a really great way that you can help support this channel, and it allows me to continue putting out content just like this. I know a lot of people like to just use the left, right, and center method, but try this out if you haven't already. It's just so much space that you're not utilizing if you're just sticking to those three. And don't forget to follow up with moving the faders around a little bit and using this technique of the left and right. I really think that it'll start opening up your mixes, especially if you mix things with a lot of harmonies, a lot of guitars, a lot of orchestral things that are kind of playing the same sound in that same area of the frequency. This can really help unmask those and bring them out and just add so much more depth to your mixes. If you enjoyed this video and found something helpful in it, please consider hitting that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to see more videos like it. Also, don't forget to check out all of the products that I have available at fairairmusic.com. The support from all of you is amazing. It really does allow me to keep continuing to do this and put out new content. So thanks so much, y'all, and we'll talk soon.